It's time to address the giant elephant in the room. There's something eerily familiar about the movie Fighter. But maybe that's because American audiences have seen this movie before. And that movie is called Top Gun. But did the movie Fighter actually plagiarize Top Gun? Well, to understand that, we have to take it back to 1986 to explore how Top Gun redefined a genre of entertainment. Top Gun was directed by Tony Scott and stars everyone's favorite Scientologist. The film focuses on Tom Cruise and a ragtag band of Navy fighter pilots who go on various missions and train drills. One of the best parts about Top Gun is they're fighting an anonymous foreign adversary, but they're too afraid to actually reveal who it is. Because you don't want your macho bromance movie to accidentally start World War III. The US State Department had to actually intervene. And honestly, I'm kinda glad that they did, because I'm still alive to tell the tale. But who is the real enemy of America that Tom Cruise was fighting? Was it Russia? Was it Iraq? Was it taxes? Was it daddy issues? Was it healthcare? Was it capitalism and the military-industrial complex? Well, no, it's not the last two. We like to blow shit up. Shut the fuck up. After much speculation, the filmmakers eventually revealed that it was North Korea. And looking back on it, the US State Department made the right call. In 2014, we had to learn our lesson the hard way. Seth Rogen and James Franco tried depicting the North Korean dictator, and he wasn't too pleased about it. The interview was released on December 25th. Throughout the movie, they make fun of Kim Jong-un. They portray the character as incredibly insecure and vulnerable. But if that wasn't bad enough, they even show him dying at the end of the movie. After this moment, things got significantly worse. The North Korean government started to threaten the United States. They promised to go to war if Sony actually released the film. The world was on standby as the conflict continued to escalate. To address the public, North Korea said that they would mercilessly destroy anyone who dares hurt or attack the supreme leader of the country even a little bit. But that was only the beginning. The calls for violent retribution continued. They attacked President Barack Obama with racist remarks. There were numerous cyber attacks and threats.
The FBI concluded the North Korean government was behind the attack on Sony's computer network. Embarrassing emails and personal documents were made public. Millions of dollars lost.
We cannot have a society in which some dictator someplace can start imposing censorship here in the United States.
Due to the controversy, Sony considered pulling the film. To prevent a situation like this from occurring, the US State Department kept the enemy in Top Gun anonymous. And let's just say there was a really big reason why the visuals actually looked so good for their time. The weapons, army base, and jets looked incredibly realistic. Maybe Uncle Sam had something to do with that. Because we later heard that the filmmakers actually got permission from the Navy to use all their equipment. But why would one of the most dominant global superpowers waste money trying to promote a movie? If you're an American citizen, you might think that's a waste of your taxpayer money. And it really depends what you believe in, but I'd rather have healthcare than another Tom Cruise movie. With so many global conflicts to focus on, why would the US Navy spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to finance a movie? They offered the production studio 4 aircraft carriers. On top of that, they even provided 24 fighter jets. Now, I don't know much about weaponry, but they had really scary names like the F-5 Tigers and the A-4 Skyhawks. You gotta watch out for the Tomcats too. But while this may appear to be reckless spending, this was a calculated move that would change the world of military recruitment forever. For decades, countries have been weaponizing nationalism and patriotism. People have an inherent desire to be proud of their identity. And fighting for one's country is perceived as the ultimate sacrifice. American exceptionalism is a strong motivator for change. And people feel more inspired to fight for their country when they believe that they're morally superior. America loves to tell people they're fighting for freedom. However, sometimes freedom tends to look more like civilian casualties in foreign countries. The United States loves freedom so much that they will overthrow democratically elected governments. One of the many reasons that the civil rights movement gained momentum was that many African Americans served in the military and fought for freedom.
Today we are committed to a worldwide struggle to promote and protect the rights of all who wish to be free.
Some of this change actually happened because the United States didn't want to appear hypocritical.
And that the rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened.
The United States government recognized the power of patriotic rhetoric in Top Gun, and they capitalized on this massive opportunity. The impact of the film was astounding. Navy recruitment spiked. Tom Cruise's character, Pete Mitchell, inspired people to fight for their country. Americans resonated with the valiant sacrifice depicted on screen. The film was a massive commercial success. In 1986, Top Gun was the highest-grossing domestic film. The movie was able to generate over $350 million. To put this commercial success in perspective, the original film budget was just $15 million. It really cannot be understated that this film was a cultural landmark. In addition to an 8% Navy recruitment spike, the soundtrack of the film did incredibly well. The song Danger Zone even reached number 2 on the top of the Billboard Hot 100. Top Gun was the blueprint for monumental success. So it's not hard to see why other countries would want to replicate this formula. Now that we have established a proper framework, it's time to analyze whether or not Fighter truly plagiarized the movie Top Gun. For those that don't know, Fighter is an Indian action film. The film was produced by Marflix Pictures and Viacom 18 Studios. In the film, a terrorist organization is trying to attack India. The bad guys are threatening an Indian Air Force base. The Indian Air Force launches a counterattack. The movie focuses on a bunch of skilled fighter pilots known as the Air Dragons. If you're paying close attention, there are some similarities in the plot. There's a romantic love interest close to the military. There's a sense of patriotism and team bonding. On top of that, there's gotta be someone that defies orders. But these similarities are just the tip of the iceberg. After every actor in India, you had to go with the white passing guy with the same haircut as Tom Cruise. And don't even get me started on the shades. Ray-Bans were originally created in the United States, and Top Gun is synonymous with these shades. Like Top Gun, real-life Air Force cadets were portrayed throughout the film. And it was clear that Viacom 18 Studios and Marflix Pictures used the Top Gun formula flawlessly. The commercial dominance of Fighter was undeniable. The film is already the highest-grossing Indian movie of 2024. Globally, the film has already made $40 million. However, one of the major distinctions between these two movies is that Fighter actually references the enemy that they are attacking. This movie undoubtedly has a political message. While there was mixed critical reception, fans seemed to love the film. If there's one thing the movie Fighter shows us, it's that nationalism and patriotism are powerful forces within our society. But that's only half the story. This isn't the first time someone has repackaged an idea for a foreign audience. The Monkey Man movie is basically just Indian John Wick. Jordan Peele is just reinventing a familiar action movie format with a more broad audience. Not to mention, there's just some shows that have universal appeal. Did you know that there are 13 versions of The Office? However, different countries have different legal protections. And so this is where copyright law comes into the picture. If you protect an idea one place, it doesn't mean it's protected everywhere. The themes and ideas expressed in Top Gun have universal appeal. So did Fighter really plagiarize Top Gun? Well, that's for you to decide. Follow the madness.